Welcome. I'm Jan Marini, the founder of Jan Marini Skin Research. I am here today with Danielle, who's going to have a skincare consultation. And so Danielle was referred, this is another person that was referred by where I go to my salon, my hair salon, by Mariah. Hi, Mariah. Thank you so much for referring Danielle. And so, Danielle, tell us a little bit about what you do.
I am a behavior therapist with autistic children. I've been doing it for about 15 years.
We were just talking about that. It's really, really fascinating, kind of where this has evolved and what's happening with autism. So we were having a little conversation on that. So tell me, if there was something you could change or improve about your skin, what would it be?
Fine lines and deep wrinkles, the bags under my eyes, and some hyperpigmentation. And then various other little things like acne scars from my teenage years. So.
Okay. So, Danielle, do you think your skin is more normal, dry combination? How would you categorize it?
Probably normal.
Okay. Were you ever a smoker?
I was a smoker. I quit almost 7 years ago, but I smoked for about 15 years.
Were you ever sunbathers?
Yes, and I definitely went through a phase of tanning booths. So.
Went through a phase of what?
Going to tanning booths.
Oh, tanning booths. Okay. So was it mainly when you were a teenager, or was it in
my
adult
20s?
Or? Okay.
Probably with the tanning, definitely. I stopped going to the booths a while ago, but I definitely regret that.
So tell me where you think you have fine lines.
Probably the crow's feet area.
Okay. Any place else?
Right here a little bit.
Okay, so she's pointing around
the mouth.
Around the mouth, so the nasolabial fold area.
Yep.
Any place else?
Not really. I have the deep wrinkles on my forehead.
Okay. And now, when you say bags underneath your eyes, so you feel that you have noticeable, like it looks more like there's like water retention or something like that underneath the eye area.
And my mom has had it too, so I don't know if it's a genetic thing or what, but I definitely.
Okay. And tell me where you think you have hyperpigmentation.
I have a couple of spots here on my forehead. Some that seem like they're appearing more noticeably.
Okay. Do you have any freckling left over from like when you were a kid or anything like that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I've always had freckles, but the more of the larger sunspot things are the ones that really.
Well, we can actually even work on the freckles as well.
Awesome.
Now, you also mentioned acne scars from teenage acne. So when you say scars, do you mean an actual depression, loss of tissue, like a divot or an indentation?
Just almost, I don't know how else to say it, but that pockmark kind of looking thing on the side, and just deep pores from, I had cystic acne more so than.
Okay. Where do you think you have large pores?
On the side right here from scarring.
So tell me what you did to clear up your acne.
I did use Proactive for a while. That worked. I went on a birth control that actually helped with the acne, and then as I got older, it just kind of, I would get random things here and there, but I think age, maybe. I
So
don't
what
know.
was the birth control? Was it Yaz or Yasmin by any
Yeah, it
chance?
was Yasmin.
Okay.
Yeah.
The reason I ask that is Yasmin has something in it that is a relative of something called spironolactone. And what that does is it kind of puts a block up between enzymes that are in the follicle, testosterone outside the follicle, and if someone has a testosterone sensitivity, which probably 90 to 95% of females with adult acne have a testosterone sensitivity, or they're producing a little free testosterone, what it does is it blocks it from getting together with the enzymes, because when they get together with the enzymes, it forms dihydrotestosterone, and it is acne. Generally can be anywhere, but it's generally around the mouth, so it's perioral, it's on the chin and the jawline, and it can be those big underground cysts.
Yeah.
So that birth control oftentimes can be very helpful, and sometimes doctors prescribe spironolactone along with the birth control pill, low dose spironolactone. So that's really good to know. Anything else that you did that you feel you did topically that made it worse or made it better?
I mean, I would try all kinds of different topical creams. I tried Retin-A for a while. That did help. And I think just, honestly, time, just getting older kind of seemed to make it less apparent, so.
Well, you're really fortunate because I hear this all the time. You've heard me say this before. There's so many women that say, well, I had acne as a teenager. Then it got better. Then I got it in my 20s or my 30s or my 40s. And I've got it again. And it's around that jawline, it's the chin. And sometimes it's worse than when they were teenagers. Or they didn't have acne and suddenly they've got it in their 30s or whatever. So unfortunately, there isn't a cure for acne. Now you can go into remission, but it can also come back at any time. So you're really, really fortunate.
Well, hopefully it doesn't
now,
do
do you
that.
break out at all now?
Just occasionally I'll get one.
Okay.
But really rarely, so
okay.
I'm actually lucky.
Great. So what do you use in the morning? What do you wash with?
I use an age-defying cleanser.
Aha. Oil of Olay?
No, Peter Roth.
Oh. Now, is this a gel? So it's Peter Thomas Roth. Is it a gel?
It is a gel.
Okay, so it's basically all skin types?
Yeah. And I think it's face and body.
Okay. Is there anything in particular in it, like a salicylic acid or anything like that, or is it just...
I think there is a salicylic acid actually in it.
Okay. Which is actually good, because salicylic acid can help to keep your follicles nice and clear. Then what do you do after the cleanser?
I use a vitamin C oils. I have so many different little products that I've tried, and I'm not sure, what. I just keep filtering through.
So it's an oil. You feel it's an oil, but it's vitamin C. What do you recall the brand?
I have one that's doTERRA. doTERRA oil, DOTERRA.
Okay. Does it say a percentage of the vitamin C?
It doesn't say.
Okay. And what do you put on after that, if anything?
An eye cream.
Okay. Remember the brand of that?
Sunday Riley, I think is what I've been using.
Oh, isn't that Gwyneth Paltrow's brand?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And then anything that you use after sunscreen?
I use, and I watched your video last night, I use a makeup, Tarte makeup sunscreen, so I'm going to have to fix that.
So if you're catching up, just so you know, I always joke, and she heard me say this probably on the video. I always joke and I say, okay, if it's in your makeup, I assume that you're putting a really thick coat all over your whole face, and on your lips, and on your neck, and your chest, and over your ears. So obviously people don't do that, but also because the sunscreen monograph has changed, makeup is no longer able to make the same broad spectrum claims. So you're not really protecting your skin. And of course, she's worried about hyperpigmentation, and she's concerned about fine lines and wrinkles, and those are all the things that we need to protect against. So, now do you do the same cleanser at night?
Yes, I do.
And then what do you use after that? Same vitamin C
Just
oil?
eye cream, usually.
Just eye cream,
Yeah.
okay. And do you ever do anything like a mask or a scrub or anything like that?
From time to time. like I said, I have so many products just filtering through my repertoire. I haven't found anything that has stuck as of yet, but I do have some charcoal masks and stuff like that.
Okay. So the average woman has over $600 in product in her bathroom that she doesn't use.
Yeah, at least.
And I always find it funny because you go out and you buy this product that costs $75 or $100 or $50 or whatever, and statistically, it only takes about a week or less for somebody to make a decision whether or not they like a product or they think it's working or it's doing something that they don't like with their skin. And so what we do is we can't throw it away because it costs all this money. So we put it on the shelf somewhere. And I always say to myself, I wonder if we think that if we come back in 6 months that somehow it's gonna work better.
Again.
But you can't throw it away. So it's really easy for it to add up very quickly. They say the average, and I wonder if maybe it's really more than that. So one of the reasons that I always ask the question if there's something you could change or improve about your skin is because it's so important when you are looking to purchase product is that you look at it from the standpoint of not the latest hype, not, oh, this is going to make your skin feel better, but it's really about what is it that you want to address? What it is that's meaningful to you, and is there some type of data or some type of evidence that this product is really going to have an effect? So that's kind of what we're focusing on. So what you've really talked to me about, or what you've really described, is just general skin rejuvenation.
Okay.
So when I use the term skin rejuvenation, most people think of skin rejuvenation mainly as lines and wrinkles. But for me, it has to do with its lines, its wrinkles, its brown spots, its mild to moderate acne, it's rosacea. It's everything that you want to address when you want your face to look glowing and you want it to look hopefully, younger, smoother, whatever, and you just want it to feel like you look healthy and you have really nice skin, whether or not you're wearing foundation. So I want to kind of address some of these issues that you've talked about and get into it a little bit more deeply. So the first thing is the so-called bags under the eyes. So your eye area has skin on the outside, and it also has a membrane, and that membrane holds everything in place because you have a fat pad underneath your eye area. It goes around that whole orbital area. And so that membrane holds the fat pad in nice. Now, as that membrane begins to weaken, because the eye area is one of the areas that tends to kind of show age first, it begins to herniate out. Now, sometimes we don't see it initially, but what we do see is that we notice that we wake up in the morning and our eyes are puffy. And by the time that you get to, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the morning, whatever, they're less puffy. And then time goes on and you notice, oh, they're still puffy at 1 o'clock. And then they're still puffy at 2 o'clock. Then they're puffy all the time. And what that is actually herniated fat.
Okay.
Now, I'm not suggesting that you should go out and say you could call your nearest plastic surgeon. But herniated fat, typically the way that you address that, and we can actually lessen that, and we can make the eye area look a lot smoother, we can make it look more contoured, but we can't really get rid of herniated fat. So there's a couple of ways that they address that today. If it's pretty much just fat, believe it or not, there's a procedure that's done conjunctivally. And what that means is, it sounds horrible, but it's actually bloodless surgery. They actually make an incision in the inside of the eyelid. They pull out the fat. It looks like a cluster of grapes, and they don't even do any stitches. It's like biting the inside of your mouth. Okay. Very little bruising, just heals up. And believe it or not, even though you remove the fat, there's a tightening that can occur in that area.
Okay.
Now, if somebody has a lot of loose skin, and let's say a lot of contour defects, like some people have a Trout effect where there's a real deep indentation in there, then what they do is they may need to make an incision under the lash line, remove some skin. But today, what they do with a lot of these surgeries is they actually rotate the fat. Because if you look at the youthful face, the distance between here and the cheekbone is usually pretty short. Mm-hmm. So you don't want a hollow look, so you rotate the fat up and you redistribute it and you make it look much more contoured. But again, there are things that we can do that can also make that area look really much brighter, more luminous, because even if you don't have hereditary dark circles, sometimes it can appear like you have darker circles because the indentations and the irregularities can cast shadows on that. Okay. So that's one thing that we can address. Okay. But I just want to be really realistic. The second thing, fine lines and wrinkles. Okay. So when I ask people where they have fine lines and wrinkles, they usually always point to the crow's feet area, right? Mm-hmm. So you have two types of fine lines and wrinkles. Now, 90 to 95% of what we look at in the mirror when we look and we say, oh, you know, I don't like what I'm seeing, or maybe I have brown spots, or I have discoloration, I have fine lines and wrinkles, etc. But what can I do? It's inevitable. 90 to 95% is sun exposure, which most of it happened before the age of 10.
Great.
As much as 50% of it at least is programmed into your skin by the age of 20. So it takes 10, 20 years to show up, but it's programmed in your DNA. And this is not good news in terms of, it's like every day you see more of it pop out. Mm-hmm. So that's one type of line and wrinkle. The second one is known as dynamic muscle movement. And dynamic muscle movement is if you lived in a cave and you never had any sun exposure, you make expressions, and what happens is certain muscles work harder than others. It creates a crease, and it shows up in the skin as a line or a wrinkle. So dynamic muscle movement, crow's feet, parentheses lines here, forehead. Botox, again, can soften it, can make it look better, sometimes a lot better, but can't make it go away. What Botox does is it doesn't freeze your face. That's kind of an old joke, but it actually lessens the movement or stops the movement of certain muscles, and other muscles continue to work, and the line and wrinkle goes away. And over time, as it atrophies, sometimes people even need it less often. Okay. So just to keep that in mind in terms of what's realistic. But again, definitely soften, can make that area look a lot better. Okay, now the other area is what happens around the mouth area. So again, I don't know how this is great news or not, but when we have, first of all, one of the main things, as much as 50% of what we perceive as the aging process is loss of volume. So volume is what gives substance and three-dimensional appearance to facial skin. And one of the primary components in volume is hyaluronic acid. Now, I'm sure you've heard of hyaluronic acid injections, right?
Yeah.
Because volume is so critical. First of all, hyaluronic acid holds about 1 to 10,000 times its weight in water. And so it's a great moisturizer topically, because instead of just keeping water from evaporating, it actually can bring moisture to the skin. But it's a really large molecule. It just sits on the surface, okay? But I'm going to tell you something different in a moment. Now, there's a common denominator in aging among all species. It doesn't matter whether you're a horse, a cat, a bug, or a human being. And that is loss of connective tissue. So in a sense, aging is an inflammatory disorder. We're rusting to death and we're shrinking. And I know everybody that's watching this at one time or another has referred to older people as little old people, because we literally shrink. And the reason is that we lose connective tissue. Connective tissue makes you fluffy. And so as you lose connective tissue, you kind of shrink. And one of the main components is hyaluronic acid. So if we have a face that is volumized appropriately, there's something called the youthful triangle. The youthful triangle looks just like a triangle. The highest, widest part of the face is the cheekbones. And then it narrows down to a nice defined jawline. As we age and as the face loses volume, you can literally turn the triangle upside down. So the part of the face that tends to flatten out and becomes less broad are the cheekbones, and this becomes the broadest area of the face. Now, as the cheek pad moves down, you get a nasolabial fold.
Okay.
And you also, as the platysma muscle pulls down, it'll take the corners of the mouth with it. And about 80% of all females by the age of 60 will lose the show of upper teeth. And that's where your lip gets pulled down. It pulls down, it lengthens vertically, it flattens, it starts to turn under. And when I say show of upper teeth, if you look at a fashion magazine and you see a model that's not smiling broadly, you still see the upper tooth line, and the vermilion border is nice and firm and upturned.
Yeah.
if you look at mom or grandma, sometimes if they're not smiling broadly, they're talking, you see the lower teeth.
Yeah.
And doctors have a really nice name for this. They call it horse lip.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, not great. And you know that one of the fastest growing procedures in the US today in aesthetics is lip shortening. Also, back in the Renaissance days, if somebody were painting nobility, a female, and they wanted to look younger, they would actually shorten the upper lip in the painting.
Okay.
Okay, so this is all about volume and all these kinds of things. Now, there are some things that we can actually do for that, but it's really, there's what I call intrinsic aging, which is loss of volume and things elongate and all of that, and there's extrinsic aging. Extrinsic aging is 90 to 95% of what we consider to be aging. Lots of stuff we can do for that. The other kind of falls in the realm of cosmetic surgery, because with cosmetic surgery, and again, I'm not suggesting run out and get cosmetic surgery, but you can put cheek pads up back where they belong. You can look at the face in thirds and kind of reproportion it, you know, get rid of the jowling and all of that. Again, there are things we can do. And one of the things that we can do is there's a game-changing hyaluronic acid technology. Now, when you get hyaluronic acid injections, it's not the hyaluronic acid that gives you the correction.
Okay.
Temporarily. But what it does is it provides a framework for collagen to form.
Okay.
Okay? And so what depends on how long it's going to last is where it's injected, how much movement there is, and how cross-linked the hyaluronic acid is. So if you get it in your lips and you're talking all the time, it's not going to last as long.
Yeah.
But then there's something called Voluma, for example, that's highly cross-linked, much denser. They put it in the cheek area, it can sometimes last a year or 2 years, and it also lifts. Well, we now have, in a product called Hyla3D, let me see if I can find that here. I know it's here somewhere. Here's Hyla3D. We actually have a product with tiny little hyaluronic acid molecules.
Oh, wow.
They go into the skin. And just one of the molecules is 50 times more moisturizing than any other hyaluronic acid. So if hyaluronic acid is anywhere from 1 to 10,000 times its weight in water, this is 50 times more hydrating. And normally when it loses its activity, at 24 hours, this is still 5 times more moisturizing.
Oh, wow.
Now,
amazing.
when you are constantly putting this on day and night, what it does is it kind of has a cumulative effect in the skin. And so you get this really nice, plump, more lifted appearance, more volumized appearance of the skin. Doesn't replace injectables, but it really is a game changer. And the thing that I love about this product is that no matter how much skincare you're using, it's a very thin gel-like liquid, so you never feel it on your skin. It just goes right in. You could put 10 things over the top and you wouldn't even know that you even had this on. Okay, so that's one of the things. But what we're going to do in addition to that, and I'm going to make a note on here, so I'm going to look down for a second in writing, Hyla3D, is I'm going to put you on a basic skincare management system.
Okay.
Now, one of the main things that we can do for the appearance of aging is resurfacing. And it's a term that I love because resurfacing is what addresses whether it's fine lines, whether it is discoloration, mild to moderate acne, rosacea, all those things. Again, it's about making the skin look really perfected. It's about making your follicles, your pores, look really finely textured. And pores are not trapdoors. You can't open and close them. But I can do a lot to make it look like your skin is just much more refined. And so the basic system really focuses on that. And it also has a lot of anti-aging components as well for the appearance of these kinds of things. For example, one of the things in the system, which is something called BioClear, is glycolic, salicylic, and azelaic acid. Azelaic acid is sold by prescription for acne, sold by prescription for rosacea. It's also one of the best pigment lifting agents to make the skin look brighter. And when you put it together with the glycolic and salicylic, I haven't come across anything that's better for resurfacing. It's amazing.
Great.
So you're going to have a lipid-soluble vitamin C that's really going to also it's got something in it called dimethylaminoethanol, DMAE, And it actually does make a difference in the appearance of contours. So you're going to see a difference in the nasolabial fold. You're going to see a difference in the contour. You're going to have the BioClear. You're also going to have something called a transferrin growth factor beta 1, or Transformation is the name of the product for a hydrator. Okay. And Dr. Weeder of Jefferson University actually said that TGF beta 1 stimulates a type of collagen you don't produce after the age of 30.
Okay.
And there's a lot of other technology. I have some patent technology in there as well. And then the sunscreen. And the sunscreen is one of my very favorite products. And it's such a cult favorite because it's an SPF 33. It has the highest rating in terms of covering the spectrum that you can give a product. But besides having a lot of other really interesting components in it, it has a oil capture system that if you have any place where you're oily, it has almost unlimited capacity to absorb the oil, but it can't absorb actives and it can't absorb water. But if you're dry, it'll leave you soft and silky.
Okay.
Okay. So I absolutely love that product. So I'm gonna put you on the basic system, and I'm gonna give you the Hyla. Now there's one other thing that I'm going to include today. Okay. But I'm going to have you wait a couple of weeks before you use it, because I want our skin to acclimate, and I kind of want her to really start to see a difference, but also feel that you've acclimated to the basic system. And that is, I'm going to add in there, and by the way, this is the basic system. Okay. I'm going to add in something called Marini Luminant Face Lotion. And this is going to be for the appearance of the discoloration. And I have to tell you, when we were doing our original studies on this, when I'm thinking about taking a product to market, one of the things I do something called proof of concept. We have a little facility here at the corporate office. We actually bring people in that have whatever it is, rosacea, discoloration, acne, etc. We put them on a protocol. And I want to see in real life with real people, not a test tube, how do these things actually work? And that helps me to decide whether or not I'm going to go into any outside studies with physicians and actually go to market. So with this product, and I've had pigment lightening products for the appearance of discoloration in the marketplace for years. But with this product, literally, we had somebody come in that they were in their late 30s. They were like one big freckle.
Oh,
and
wow.
within 2 weeks, it was almost completely gone.
It's amazing.
And so you can go to the website and see before and after pictures, but this is another kind of game changer. Plus, it has retinol in it. And really, when you look at topicals that actually have medical studies for the appearance of aging, glycolic acid and retinol or retinoic acid, tretinoin, which is the prescription version, there's more data on those ingredients than anything else in the world. And so in terms of being able to really have an effect on the appearance of aging that is measurable, that is noticeable, there's nothing better. So I guarantee you're going to love this product. I'm very excited. I'm excited to see what's going to happen with your skin.
I am too. I'm really excited.
Well, good. So we're all excited.
Yep.
So do you, and by the way, I am going to continue to work with you. So what I'm going to do is either I or my assistant will check back with you in about 4 days, because again, remember I said that that's about the time frame when people decide either they don't like something, or sometimes it's just a matter of coaching. And also, I love to hear people say, oh my God, I can't believe, how my skin is responding.
Yeah.
But I'm going to continue to work with you, and probably there are things that we might do to modify, adjust your program. But I want to tell you that if a month from now, 2 months from now, you say, wow, my skin's the best it's ever been, I can make it even better.
That is amazing, and I'm very excited to hear that.
So believe me, there really is hope. And when I said in my very first video that I posted, the very first consultation, I said, really one of the reasons that I'm doing this is because I want to educate, but I also want to inspire people and empower people to really go for technologies that can actually make a difference, because you can spend ungodly amounts of money on products. And as a product researcher, believe me, I come across a lot of things that work and a lot of things that don't work. So at any rate, I'm excited, and we'll get you going. And again, you have any questions or anything?
No questions. I'm just really looking forward to seeing how everything goes.
Great. Well, then I think we are finished for today. Until next time, bye, and please subscribe. Thanks. Bye.